Time now for Social Watch. Mike and I are really having an interesting conversation. We'll be looping you in briefly. However, we still want you to be a part of this conversation. 20146 is our SMS line. You can also talk to us via our social media platforms at Metropole TV KE across all the digital platforms. The hashtag to use is Metropole Debrief. Let's sample some of the views that you've had with regards to the topic that we've been discussing today, which is the national census. Now, we did an opinion poll on Instagram and we asked you, do you think the National Population Census report is relevant and how? 52.6% say yes, 47.4% said no. Mike, what do you read into these numbers?
I read that we still don't understand the impact of a census report. It is a very serious document and we need to give it more attention, and we need to read all the volumes that are released so that we can understand exactly how deep these reports are. Once that is done, those percentages will change.
Okay.
More people will be able to appreciate the value of a census report and a household survey report.
Yep. Okay, now let's sample some of your views and what you had to say. At Sly_invention say, I personally think the census in this country at the moment has no relevance to most people with regards to the information collected. It always feels like a monetary loophole.
Yeah, for as long as policy formulators do not use the data available in the census reports to create a difference in people's lives, people will always think that it's a waste of time and a waste of resources. Let's take a look at another comment. On Twitter, at Isili Pundit says, Kenya is a nation of the young. Going by the census release, we can actually overhaul the status quo, but we ain't ready for that yet. Kenyan youth, let's have a discussion. And this ropes into the discussion that we were having just before we came on air. Yes, the youth need to have a discussion. And I'm sure once the youth decide to have a discussion, there'll be change in this country. Because every trading center in Kenya today, if you drive around the countryside, every trading center, there are youths idling around, whether in Karatina or Kakamega or Kisumu or Homa Bay, whatever. This is a big population that is growing by the day, and they are getting impatient, and they need answers to the questions that are troubling them. Okay. The biggest question that is troubling the youth is employment. How can somebody be born and die without ever having a formal job or having any form of employment? That is a question that is bothering them. And one day, this question will lead to an explosion. So it is important that the leaders in this country, the decision makers and the policy formulators, start thinking through the issue of unemployment to address the concerns of the youth. Okay.
Let's take a look at another comment. At IR Perry says, I don't understand the census report. Apart from political reasons, what is the benefit of having tribal numbers? Why can't we have numbers of people living under poverty, number of nurses, teachers, doctors, etc.? Things that actually in capital matter. Kenya is a joke, shaking my head.
I hope that Paris is a lady. She is very right, and she actually captures what we were discussing here.
Yes.
Census should not bother us about which tribe is bigger than the other.
Yes.
That is really a very small issue, actually a non-issue. Census is supposed to help us understand what conditions we are living under, what kind of services we need today, what services we'll need tomorrow, how to deal with the challenges of today, how to deal with our own security today. Okay? So that is what census report is supposed to help us understand. And the political framework of who is more than the other, that is, according to me, is a non-issue. So Paris is very right. Yep.
Okay, let's take a look at another. At Chandy_Elia says, the census questions asked if I own a boat, but didn't ask if my children are in government or private school, or if I can access government health facilities or housing. Does anyone really care?
From the way that question is framed, actually the answer lies in the question that nobody cares about her. And I think the leadership in this country are supposed to answer her. they are supposed to prove her wrong, that they actually care, because she has already concluded that they don't care.
But have we seen the leadership of the country, even after the 2009 census, did they use that data to make evidence-based decisions that impacted the lives of the likes of Chandi positively?
There is no evidence that they ever utilized that data.
That's why we leave it. Let's take a look at another tweet. V. Onyango says, census in Kenya is a tool for political and economic repression. If the 2019 figures are anything to go by, unfair parliamentary representation, revenue allocation, and employee distribution in the civil service will be the norm for the next 10 years as we await for the next census. The dangers of politicizing and tribalizing numbers.
Yeah, when we tribalize a serious exercise like census, then the report that comes out of it only helps us to justify our misgivings, that it is only going to be used for political and economic repression.
Okay.
But that is not the original intention why census reports are done or why census exercises are done. They are done to help society to address the challenges facing it. So what V. Onyango says is important, but it is also important for Kenyans to understand that the role of census reports is much more noble than the role for which it is used in Kenya. It is only here, because this is our country, where we give it that slant of political and economic repression.
Okay, very briefly, we shall be crossing over to the streets to hear what you had to say on Street Talk. But let's take a look at maybe one more tweet so that we don't lock out anyone. Omondi Rampel says, how are Kenyans expected to behave when KNBS presents census data that is obviously tribalized? Waiting to hear perspectives from the NCIC_Kenya. Should we not just form tribal fiefdoms so that each tribe lives and conducts business within its designated territory?
I am reluctant to agree with, I think I know he's my friend. I don't agree with his view.
Yes.
That people should go back to their tribal fiefdom so that each tribe lives and conducts business within its designated territory. We have a country, and that country is called Kenya. This is the only country we have. It is upon us to wake up and to develop it. And if we have issues, if we have challenges, let's say about tribalism, it's upon us to confront those issues directly and seek solutions to them. But sidestepping the challenges so that we form fiefdoms for each tribe, that only helps in breaking up the country. And we don't want a broken up country. We are better off together like this, because this is the only country God gave us.
Yes.
If we break it, what else will we have?
Nothing, I presume. Let's hear what Kenyans had to say on the streets with regards to this topic. Listening to Street Talk. Audio volume.
Umeziona?
Yeah, nimesikia.
Yes.
Ndio.
Nimesikia.
Yes, I did. Okay, I think the government should plan.
Hiyo figure tumepata ni different kabisa na expectations za wananchi. Sababu kwanza maana yake nikasema hivyo, hizo census is not actual figures as per the ground.
Lakini sijui kama recount vizuri ama wako count vizuri, lakini namba yenye wametoa tunakubaliana nayo tu.
Lakini ya waria hawezi shinda Kisii.
Sabiwa in numbers, but me, I would like to hear the quality of the people that were censored.
Naona serikali kenye inaweza fanya for now, hii namba venye imetokezea hivyo, we need to revisit mambo na boundaries. Najua it follow, so that boundaries will also define the sharing of resources. So hizo resources, those boundaries ikidefiniwa, we will know, because like Northeasterns enyewe boundary ni kubwa, but population hapo ni ndogo. So those people wana expect that wapewe resources kubwa sababu they have a bigger boundary, of which is no. Nairobi is a smaller is a smaller county, has many population. So those are the factors that these people need to consider.
Government Kenya inafaa kufanya kwenye uko na watu wengi, ukuwe ni first priority, wapewe pesa mingi.
Okay, it is good the government to know the number that is managing, yeah? Number one, so that to budget for that number, yeah? And also me, I would, ningependa tu kunini kuelezea serikali ndio wametuhesabu. What next? Isikuwe tu tulihesabiwa tukafanyishwa kazi kukaa kwa nyumba tukangoja kuhesabiwa wakapata namba lakini baadaye tukose kusaidika. Tunataka maji, tunataka barabara, tunataka madawa hospitalini, tunataka mchezo, tunataka corruption.
The government, the first thing, and should have been done the day after yesterday, is to improve the quality of the population, and especially within the youth.
Planning itaonyesha the unemployed Kenyans, the unemployed youth.
Definitely it will inform, because now you imagine now the outcome of this census. One political, maybe let's say Western will be maybe watasema, because we have many as per the records, so we should have a pie of any elective position.
Zita reflect juu sasa kama venye wakuu wamekuwa wengi na Waluhya wamefuata, lazima sasa kama ni when it come to siasa saa politics, lazima hawa sasa ndio watakuwa front line. Ndio watakuwa front line na wao ndio watadepend. Juu lazima wakuwe na mtu yao wako wana represent.
Well, as for politics, I don't care so much. I do care for the common mwananchi.
Zitadanganya wengine. Yeah, kwa sababu kuna wengine wanafikiria wako wengi, kumbe figures. Kuna watu wa kuhesabiwa. Yeah, sababu mimi nilikuwa nimesafiri kwenda Huduma. Mimi nilihesabiwa kule. Je, wenye wako kuhesabiwa wenye walikuwa wamesafiri? So it will lie to some people somehow.
Of course, Kikuyus that remain so Kikuyus that are voting.
Mike, I'm interested to hear what your 2 cents with what Kenyans had to say about ins and outs of the census report.
I have watched and listened keenly. But it all boils down to one thing.
Yeah.
Kenyans are hungry for quality service.
Yeah.
Because Kenyans pay taxes. And they want to see their taxes put to good use. They don't want to see their taxes getting lost. And you know, it's very irritating when, for instance, corruption cases come up and you realize that your hard-earned cash that you paid as tax has just been looted by one guy.
Yes.
Has carried around 20 billion and put in his own pocket. And yet there are no drugs in hospitals. We don't even have money to raise the salaries of doctors. We don't have enough schools and facilities in our schools. Teachers want pay rises, they cannot get. So Kenyans have very legitimate concerns about the status of their country. And you can see they are not giving up. They have issues they want the government to address.
And the government must address those issues.
The government must address those issues because these guys are not going anywhere.
Yes.
They have not even indicated that they intend to migrate.
Yeah.
So they are going to be here. And hopefully the government will listen to them because this is the way to address issues. When they start rising early enough, address them immediately. If you let them fester, they'll become a bigger problem that solving will become a problem.
Mike, before we let you go, we want to give you at least 30 seconds to do your parting shot. We know the census is a big topic and it cannot be exhausted in a day. And we wait to see the next 3 years after the end of the Jubilee administration, what would they have done with this data in the next 7 years to come. However, for your parting shot, for the next 3 and 10 years, how should we use this data to make evidence decisions? And if we do, I want you to paint a visual picture to that Kenyan watching at home. How will Kenya look like? Camera 2.
How will Kenya look like? If the data is used or if the data is not used?
If the data is used. Let's give Kenyans hope.
If the data is used, because it's a lot of data, and this report is very rich, and it is detailed, and it is comprehensive. If the decision-making organs of this country and the decision-making people, the leaders of this country, take this report seriously and interrogate it and extract what is relevant for each department and implement it, we will have excellent healthcare, we will have excellent education, we will have excellent infrastructure, we will have jobs for our young people. We will not have the problems that are there, that are currently bedeviling this country. But if we ignore this report that is before us, 3 years ahead, 10 years ahead, 20 years ahead, we will still be in the same situation, if not worse. Because for as long as we refuse to confront the problems facing us as a country, the situation can only get out of hand. And we don't want the situation to get out of hand. So as a people, we must remain optimistic, and as a people, we must push our government to be progressive and take these reports like this census report very seriously, because we need change in this country. We need a better life for everybody, young and old alike.
Thank you, Mike, for making time.
Thank
and
you.
Please make sure you come again and again and again. There'll always be room for you.
I'll always be around. Once you call me, I'll always be here.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so
well,
much.
13 episodes later, we've come to the end of season 2 of Metropole Debrief. As always, thank you for being a part of the show. Thank you for making Thursday a day for Metropole Debrief, where you get to sit and watch this show. Thank you for always reaching out to us via our SMS line, which is 20146. Thank you for always using the hashtag Metropole Debrief across all our social media platforms. Season 3 will be bigger and better, and we promise that we will ensure that we bring you conversations that matter to you. As we've always said, Metropole Debrief is a dialogue. Everyone has a voice. This is the place where we get to amplify your voice, and trust me, we will amplify it until the whole country vibrates with your voice, and those that need to make the change will make the change so that you can live the life that Mike just described. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your viewing.